Hello there everybody and welcome back to the railway. So today you join me on my worktop bench again, and today I'm going to be making another little diorama. So I've been inspired by this. This is one of my first standalone dioramas. This might have been my second one that I made. Here it is. So let me just, if I just pick you up so you can see it. It's pretty underwhelming. It's nice enough, and it's good for displaying road vehicles and stuff, but I've been inspired by this, which I made quite a while ago, and I'm going to make another one. Now, I've also been inspired by the recent storm Eunice, which has caused pretty much widespread destruction, and I thought, wouldn't it be quite cool if I could model storm Eunice? Not specifically Eunice, but any storm with falling down trees and stuff, and I thought, well, it's not really appropriate for my layout, so I thought I would do it on a little diorama like this. So yeah, I've learned quite a lot from this, to be honest. This still needs really a back scene on it, but you can see, if I bring this a bit closer to you, you can see the way the hedges are made. They've got these massive bubbles in, because I used this, which is the Jarvis Countryside Scenics. It is the Jarvis Countryside Scenics J Tree to number 2 tree foliage. And I thought, well, it would be good for making hedges out of, but it turns out it isn't, because it's all in these big clumps, which are actually better to make bushes and stuff out of. And I've now learnt some lessons, and I have, somewhere up here, I've got a little hedge effect. Here it is. This is my hedge effect scatter. It's in an old spice, that sounded weird, it's in an old condiment, like shaker. But yeah, I use that effect, and I've used a lot of that. Anyway, today I'm going to be taking some advice from this. This is the first part of a little series I'm going to be doing on how to make a little storm diorama. So if I take this away, just put this right there. First of all, first thing you're going to need, baseboard. I have quite a big baseboard. It's too big to fit in one shot, but I'm just going to see if I can do a bit of a pan with it. Right, there you go, now you have a bit of an insight into what the baseboard is, and I've just snapped something on the corner of my desk. Oh, it's just a matchstick. Anyway, so that's what this is. It's going to need a bit of sanding down if I was to use that side, but I don't think I will. I'll use this side, I think, maybe, yeah, because the screw holes aren't quite as big and it isn't as rough. This is just an old repurposed shelf, but let's have a quick look at it, and I am going to try and fit it all onto my desk. And then I can begin some planning, but I've got paints and stuff here, so paints you're going to need for today's instalment. You're going to want this. This is grey paint. I've just made this up from some white paint and some black paint. You want a bit of this, which is brown paint. It doesn't come across very well. I've had this for absolutely ages. It's just some Crayola stuff. And you're going to want a little tub of water, which is out of shot. But there it is, tub of water. It's just to rinse your paintbrushes off in. And my paintbrush of choice for doing road surfaces, which is this, quite a long, quite a thick brush actually, and it gives that nice effect that we saw on that layout before. That's what I've used for the road effect over there. This is going to be depicting a main road, and it's going to just basically be raised up a little bit. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to do it, and I'm looking forward to doing it. So without any further ado, I am going to quickly move some of the junk that's on the other side of my desk, so we can fit this baseboard piece on, at which point I will do a time lapse and we can show me getting this ready. Alright guys, here we go. Right, so here is the piece of wood. It is laid out, it's a little bit just out of camera, but not too much. I also have the pencil of doom, so I can sort of sketch out how I want to do it. So I was thinking we could have a main road. Now, previously, when I wanted to do main roads, I've used free Wordsworth Model Railway. There's a link to them in the description, very good. Road sections, and that's what I've used in the town scene, out of shot. I have not got a measurement of how wide their road is, but I would say that it needs to have a few mils added on either side. So what I'm going to do now is quickly go over and measure that with a steel rule, see how wide it is, and then I'll add a few mils to either side, and we can draw that onto here. Right, I'm back and I have some measurements. It's more or less 10 centimetres. So if I make it about 12, actually no, I'll make it about 10, because it's about 9.5, so 10 centimetres should be fine. Just move this all the way up here. Try square, you see. What I want to do then is get, well, 10 centimetres. Let's measure how wide this is first. This is about 19.5 centimetres. So we can fit 10 in there, so let's just put 4 centimetres on this side and there's 5 at the back. So I want this to depict a straight section of road. I don't want it to be anywhere in particular, but I have got a particular road I am drawing inspiration from, but it won't be a scale model of that, because I am not one for doing that sort of thing. I'm quite a freelancer, to be fair. Right, let's just get forward this end. There we go. Now, what do we get? So we need to measure down. So let's just draw that to there. Let's get that there. And let's turn the ruler upside down. Or not. No, let's just move this way. Yep, that does the trick nicely. And let's draw. Now, how am I going to do this? Could I do it like that, or shall I take the ruler out of the tri-square? There we go, just so I can never get them back in again. After about 15 minutes, I can get them back in, but never when I want them back in. Right, that's done. Right, let's see if I can get it back in. Let's see if I can break my own personal best at getting it. Yes! Yes! I've got the tri-square back together. Woohoo! I'm going to put in some celebrational music. I don't remember what I'm saying anymore. God, it's depressing. I'm celebrating the fact I can build a tri-square. Woohoo! Lucky me. Right. There we go. Let's see if I can get... There we go. Move that along. Thank you. There we go. So we can see I've just drawn these pencil lines, and this is going to be more or less a pretty rough guide as to where it's going to go. It being the main road. I've absolutely gone and jiggered it this time. Come on. I knew it was too good to be true. I have not, as it happens, fixed the trusty tri-square. Damn it. Right, cue the... Oh! Done it. So I was going to say, cue the comedic scheming weasel Kevin MacLeod music. You know, the royalty-free stuff from incompetech.com. No. I am not that odd. I want it to be about there. I'm not that guy. Mention no particular names of any particular YouTuber, but I am not them. Oh, that was a weird noise. Sounded like a demented cow. Well, someone's messed up somewhere, and I have a feeling it was me at this end. Well, that's 10 centimetres, and that should be 10 centimetres as well. Well, it is. But I bet you that's more than 10 centimetres. That's odd. I am not going to comment. Let's just get this line drawn. Right. Well, someone's messed up, because I'm fairly certain that's not straight, but it is what it is. It doesn't matter if it's not that straight anyway, because it's never perfect. Right, this is the... Let's put that out of the way before I injure someone with it. Right, so we have verge, main road. I am now going to make a mark. Actually, should I make a mark? No, I'm not going to make a mark in the middle of the road. Right, so this side and that side are going to be grass. I'm going to have to build up the road structure first, and I'm going to do that from... Wait for it, I'm just getting it. This. Yeah, it's known as cardboard. Or in this case, actually, it's known as an Amazon box, but we won't dwell on that, because it is what it is. However, I don't think I have enough of this. Damn it, no, I don't have enough of this. So, I'm going to, or do I? Having said that, I think I do have enough of this cardboard. So yeah, we'll be using cardboard. So let me just get the other bit of cardboard from halfway across the room. For some reason. Right. Here we go. Cardboard box. Blur out these bits. Ignore them. Don't want to get copyrighted. Probably won't be fair, but don't need that. Right. I'm going to quickly get the terrifying steel ruler of death. I might have actually fixed it properly this time. Yeah, I think I have. Anyway, in all seriousness, I need to get on with this. Let's make a mark here. Oh, come on. There we go. And if I bring that down, in fact. Yeah, that'll do. And then, if I get that, put it there, perfect. Put that down there. Now I'm going to try and find some scissors. Right, back in a moment when I've got some scissors. Right, I have a pair of scissors. Ignore the slightly odd pattern on them, but they're just the only ones to hand. So what I want to do, first of all, is just chop that. It doesn't matter if it's not perfect, because roads around where I am basing this never are. You can see it does go in and out, but that's sort of okay. So that is fine. That is what we want. Let me just... Cardboard box. I'm going to chop this up so I can create the rest of this road surface. I want it to be a little bit higher than that so I can use my secret weapon, which I don't know if there's any to hand. Hang on. So I can use my secret weapon, which is this, which is hanging basket liner, and that's what I used before. And if you put a piece of hanging basket liner, for example, like this, and you cut it out, and it's green, it's brown, or straw coloured, I would say. If you chop it, and then you put some glue over it, you can put some scatter on. I'm thinking I'll use this. I don't know that I'll use it, but I'm hoping I'll get the chance to. Of course, if I don't, it's not the end of the world. Anyway, I am going to quickly get this cardboard box sorted, so back in a moment. Right, well I have got some bits of cardboard cut out, and I decided I'd save you guys the tedium of watching me try and probably fail to put some cardboard onto a piece of wood. I've got a big, I've got like a tub of PVA, and I've got a cotton bud as well. And what I'm just going to do is put some PVA down this bit here, and I think it might actually be easiest to, just try and put this in the stickiness. Let's see if I can find a paintbrush. It's going to be easier to do that than use a cotton bud. In case you're wondering why I was using a cotton bud, I was making another video, which I think by the time you're viewing this has actually been released, so there's a link to that somewhere, of involving gluing, and I was making another little diorama actually. A bit of scenic to go on it, and I needed something to be quite more precise than a glue stick. I'm not using a glue stick, than a cardboard. Flipping out, can't get my words out. Then a brush, paintbrush. So that's what I was using that for. I'm hoping my ugly countenance is not spoiling your view. I think it is. Yeah, so all I'm doing here is just painting up to well, you're not something, gluing, that's better, so I'm not painting, up to where the second piece of cardboard is. And yeah, I'm going to show you guys an interesting technique on how to make some trees that a member of my local model railway club actually showed me. So if you're out there, Chris, then and you're watching this, then thank you very much for showing and teaching me how to do this. I appreciate it. But yeah, it's quite a quirky little diorama because it's not one that's, I don't think very many people really choose to model this sort of thing, which is what makes it all the more attractive for me as a modelling proposition. I think that's the right word, as the modelling subject, because it's not really one that's been done before. I'm sure it has. I'm not saying this is the first of its kind or unique in any way, but you know. Right, so what I've done that is I just want to put that on there, and then I have got a bit of scatter around, where is it? Model out. This is my flowery grass and static grass scatter mix. And all I want to do is just get a little handful piece, and on the sides of the road where there's extra PVA, I just want to put a bit of scatter on it. Might try and disguise it slightly. Yeah, first scenic work, you could say, but it's not really scenic work. This is just to disguise the glue, because it does come out quite shiny sometimes. Now, this is not the final road surface. The final road surface will be raised up a little bit more. There you go. Put that there. Put that back up there for now. And then just see where that will come up to. Right, so let's just brush up to the end then. Yeah. So I am planning on using some die-cast cars on this. I'm not buying new die-cast cars, I'm just going to repurpose the ones off my main layout, because I don't have infinite money. So yeah, I recommend that this is not a permanent diorama. You can take it out to shows and stuff if you want, if you're choosing to follow this at home. If you're mad enough that you want to actually watch me put some glue onto a piece of wood. But I say it's not going to be a permanent diorama. Well, it is a permanent diorama, but it's not going to have its own permanent fleet of road vehicles. It'll share them with my main layout. Yep, right, so I've run out of glue, so due to the magic of editing, you'll now see this cup full of glue. And ta-da! Thanks to the magic of editing, we now have a full cup of glue. So I'm just going to get my glue brush and continue brushing this glue up. Yeah, I'm going to probably use this to display die-cast vehicles on, like I do the other one, but it'll be quite a nice, interesting scene nonetheless. Yeah. And say, if like me you haven't got infinite money for this sort of thing, and I'm sure many of you guys don't, as it is a very expensive hobby, then this is probably the cheapest way to do it, isn't it? Right? You can invest your money into something else for your layout that you can't make at home, like locomotives in stock. Now I know you can make them at home, but if like me you're lazy and you really cannot be bothered, then this is good for you. Yeah, and now I'm just going to pop these last few pieces of cardboard onto the diorama. There we go. Right, so we have our first bit of section of roadway, and I'm just seeing if I can find my scatter, which I had before. Grab a handful, or a little bit, and just sprinkle it on to those bits of glue. It's not going to be noticeable, but it just helps prevent it if it will happen in the future. And believe me, I've had my fair share of glue being visible. Oh yes. Right, that is that first bit of roadway done. And I was going to say it might be worth putting another one on top of it, but I'm thinking about it, and I don't think it will be really. Yeah, so I think I can then just put the brown paint straight onto here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off, just brush some of this off here onto the glue where it actually needs to be. What I'm going to quickly do is just tip some of this excess scatter off onto my workbench, which I can hoover up later. Right, so what I'm going to do first of all is get my brown paint, which I have not even opened, I don't think, for about 6 years, if that, probably longer. And I'm just going to get a brush. Let's just see if I can get some of this paint, and if I can, ooh, right, I'm just going to paint this far side here with this paint. It's quite red for mud, to be fair, but this is obviously going to have a bit of soil and stuff on, and the reason I'm painting it brown is just because that way, if the final glue and grass and stuff mix doesn't cover the whole thing, it's not going to look totally out of place, if you know what I mean. I might put a bit more of this on here. It doesn't have to be perfect covering, it'll just look slightly more like a field, you know, when it's done, if, as is quite probable, to be fair, the grass does not cover it 100%, which is a technique I've used quite a lot. But generally speaking, I don't tend to use brown paint. It's usually green, but I think brown's going to be better in this circumstances because it's going to have been stormy, and storm means water, and water around here means mud in fields and on the side of the road and stuff. So put that there, and go and sit back there. Now we've got to wait for that to dry. It doesn't matter if it's all like tumpy, like it is, sort of swirly, roundy. It's a very weird way of putting it, but if it's all swirly like that, it doesn't matter too much. Dry my hands off. Right, so now we've done that, I need to work out what blend of static grass I'm using. Now I don't have a huge amount, but I'm thinking of using this, which is the Wall World Scenic Summer 2 Mil as a basing coat. Now, I don't tend to use a proper static grass applicator, I tend to use my hands. But that's because I'm a cheater. And it looks okay, and you know, it doesn't look too bad. I just tend to use this as just my base coat, and it looks okay, but in real life you wouldn't get grass that's all exactly the same colour, which is why I'm going to be breaking away from the trend of using just this, and I have been doing it recently on the layout as well. But I thought, as this is a new diorama, I'm not going to use just this, so I am going to use some of this, but what I'm also going to use is, can I find it, that's the question. I'm going to use a bit of this spring 4mm grass, just a little tiny bit left in the bottom, and I'm going to use, it's in here somewhere, there it is, this blend, and a bit of lichen as well apparently, but yeah, this blend of static grass which I have accumulated. This is just offcuts. There's a few rocks in there as well, which I probably need to take out. But I've accumulated that from various static grass projects over the years, and I will be using that to cover this as well. Now, this is not going to be visible really on the side of the road, thanks to this. This is known as rubberised horsehair. I know, a very posh fancy name, though it's really not. But basically, what I want to do is just make some hedges. So, for comparison, here is double O gauge Land Rover. This is just one I grabbed off the layout. So, previously when I've done hedges, they have been massive compared to this. They've been like up here. But I'm not going to do that today. You can't say it, can you? They've been like up here on. I'm not going to do that today. It's going to be much more in scale. So I'm using this little Land Rover as a scale. Yep, that looks quite cool, trundling along there. I'm going to get my trusty scissors. And I'm just going to cut a bit off this. So, that much say. And I'm just going to see how that looks. This stuff is really evil on your scissors, so if you do opt to go down this route of actually put a hedge in place, then I do recommend that you keep your scissors specifically for this purpose, because it will blunt them as well. And these scissors, sure enough, are mostly used for railway modelling. But as I said, it is an evil product, rubberised horsehair, and my scissors absolutely hate it. In the sense that they cannot cut it. I'll make it sound like I talk to them and they have personalities, but as far as I'm aware, they don't. And as far as I'm aware, I'm not insane, so, you know. Doesn't mean you are insane, but fair enough. I'm rambling, which I really shouldn't be. I should script these videos slightly more, but I can never predict how they're going to go. Yeah, I'm just going to try, right. I'm going to jump cut because this is going to take ages just to get one strip cut out. So, cue the jump cut. Right, I'm now holding a piece of rubberized horsehair. So what I want to do is just with your hands, just pluck at the sides because they're never really perfect. You just want to pluck at it and make it look a bit unkempt, you know. That's what you want. So it's never perfect around where I live and where this is going to in turn be based. So yeah, let's do the same on the other side as well. Just to make it a bit straggly. Pluck it out a bit. There we go. Tease it away. Get rid of that big chunk of rubber. Right, that's what it looks like. Now, what you want to do is you want to get your leaf spray. Leaf spray? I'm sure that's a thing, but I haven't got a clue what it is. You want to get your leaf scatter, which, in my case, there it is. It's inside that little tub. You can see it. I'll make some more of this up, and we will get downstairs with this. This is the dreaded vinyl flooring adhesive. It's actually cost me £7.99, and it's actually very good. Right, you just shake it up and it just works wonders. So yeah, cue a jump cut until I'm outside and just about to set this up and spray it. Right, so now quite a lot of time has passed, a good few hours, and unfortunately the railway, what on earth am I saying? The diorama isn't finished. This isn't not properly dried, but I thought what I'd do is paint this, which is going to be the road. So it's interesting because it's not going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. So I'm just going to clean this off. It's not going to be the most realistic because it's got these big gaps, but it shouldn't look too bad. So I have some grey paint which I've just mixed up here from some white and some black, and if I just get some on the end of my probably excessively large brush, start brushing it in place along the road, it doesn't look all that bad because it is going onto quite a light background. I really don't have much grey paint, so I might just do one coat today and do a base coat, which would be this one. If it all goes well, this might be the final coat, but it's unlikely. That's how little grey paint I have. Anyway, so we go in, just keep going. It doesn't matter if there's a bit of variation in colour. So like if there's a bit of black, a bit darker in some places than it is in others, it doesn't matter like that, to be honest. It doesn't matter at all, because though roads are perfect, especially not where I'm basing this this diorama, there's nothing here to show that it's going to be there, but it could be anywhere. If you didn't know, you would guess it could not maybe even be Peak District. It's unlikely to be Peak District. It's not in like hills and stuff, but you know. Again, you can see that is just brushing it nicely in place there. Just going to keep it on this side as well. And do big long strokes, because that's going to look more realistic than lots of tiny little ones. I'll just try and get them relatively straight as well. There we go. And that's looking perfect. There you go. That is the first base coat, and potentially the last, but it's unlikely, coat for the road. So let's just pop that into my water tray and make it all go funny colour. I did not mean that in a racist way. Yeah, it's just that's just a pot of IPA, not the beer, the isopropyl alcohol that I'm using to clean the paintbrush, which has become gummed up. So I've done this painting now, and I've done that bit of painting as well. I have some hedges which I have gone off and prepared in the time. I'm not going to put them over the road because I don't want it to be too much on the road. Again, it doesn't matter if there's a bit of fluctuation on the road, because remember, it's part of a storm. But yeah, so I have these hedges, I've done them, they're quite nice. I'll do a video and tutorial